Welcome. Hi, I'm Emily MacDonald. I'm the program advisor at Coaching Out of the Box, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. We are learning about the business of coaching. So you have the coaching skills, but is that enough? Today, we'll dive a little deeper into tips and strategies about building a successful coaching practice. A bit about some of our offering. Regardless of where you're at in your coaching journey, we have solutions for you. You can feel free to reach out to me after the webinar and we can discuss your coach training needs and requirements. I'm happy to answer any questions about credentialing and our programs. Stephanie will put my email and calendar link in the chat. In our last webinar last month, we discussed coach credentialing and some of the requirements. As you can see in our handy graphic here, mentor coaching is one of those requirements, and it's included in the Fast Track program offering, but we also offer it as a standalone option depending on your requirements. Now onto the main event. Joining me today is one of our wonderful coach facilitators at Coaching Out of the Box. Elias Scultori is leading our discussion on the business of coaching. Elias, did you want to pop on your camera and say hello, or if you have anything else you want to add before we get started?
Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to see you. And I am looking here at the list of participants and I can see some familiar names. So it's wonderful to connect with all of you and spend this time here with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elias. We are looking forward to learning more. So what I'm going to do now before we get started is I'm going to pop up some polls on screen. Just want to see who's joining in today before we get started. And we will leave the polls open for a couple minutes just to get some feedback and see where everyone's coming in from. Oh, fantastic. Great. I'm going to close the poll here now and share some of those results. And Elias, we would love to get started today.
Well, thank you, everyone. And good to get the results of the poll here. Have you taken coaching training programs is the question. Yes, so wonderful to see that we are talking with coaches that already, right? Trained coaches already. And I would love to start here by talking about what a wonderful time it is for us to be coaches. And if you're not a coach yet, here is a great opportunity for you to get connected and perhaps get your skills in coaching. Coaching is the it right now in organizations and companies around the world. Every time I talk about this, I like to say that there was a poll from Gallup a few years ago that mentioned that 67%, and I say this all the time, so some of you may have already heard this number, but 67% of the workforce is experiencing some sort of a burnout. This is almost 3/4 of the workforce. That is a huge number. People in organizations are feeling this sense of burnout, of some kind of a burnout. And we also know that the issue that most organizations around the world are facing right now is the issue of employee engagement and retention. We have now the news that you probably heard of the summer exit or the summer exodus, where more and more employees after, now that we are trying to get to this place in the pandemic, they're quitting. I don't want to go back to commute again and go in and keep it in the same status quo. Now that there is a possibility of the pandemic coming to a close, hopefully I want change. I want something new. And the interesting thing is, like, if we think if the employee was really satisfied with the work that they were doing, they wouldn't quit. And in that same research that Gallup released that I mentioned earlier, it also says that employees that have left companies would have stayed in the company if they had better management, if the manager would have handled the situation better. So what a great opportunity. I say all of this because it's a great opportunity for coaching the employee, for coaching the managers, for coaching the leaders of organizations, so that we can minimize burnout, so that we can increase employee engagement and retention. And more companies are seeing the value of coaching. And that's when we come and we are able to support these organizations and be able to support these organizations. Coaching came from a place, a very small profession, to now a profession that we have more than $2.3 billion of global revenue in the coaching profession. So that's a huge number, a huge increase that we are seeing happening in the profession, and with the possibility of even more, expecting an even a bigger increase in the years ahead, because of all the challenges that organizations are seeing, and the possibility that coaching can be to support organizations in these cases. So great, I say all of this because it's time of change that we are experiencing right now, and the opportunity for all of us as coaches or people interested in getting coaching training, of the possibility of coaching and how coaching can be, the value of coaching that we can have in organizations nowadays. So if we go to the next slide, Emily, one of the things for us to be mindful of, and the question comes after this, is like, okay, so coaching is important and coaching is valuable, and coaching is something that can benefit, organizations can benefit from. Why do I need to hold a credential? Why do I need a credential? Is a credential really important for me to be able to act as a coach? So it's a great question. So one thing for you to be mindful of, and you probably already know, coaching is a self-regulated profession. We are the ones, as coaches, we are the ones that together, we come together and we self-regulate the profession. So this is makes us, it's important for us to know, because then, no, you don't necessarily need, like a lawyer would need to have their credentials to be able to practice law, or a doctor would be able to have their credentials in order to be able to practice medicine. You don't necessarily need that in order to have a practice in coaching. You can anyone can just say tomorrow, I'm going to be a coach, and start using the title of coaching without infringing any law whatsoever. So if that is the case, I'm just going to say, and I'm going to be a coach, and tomorrow I'm going to start, gathering clients. Well, that is a possibility, legally speaking. However, what is the background, and what are the skills that you bring to the marketplace, that you bring to that practice? there is a big distinction between being skillful in a subject matter, being an subject matter expert, and being an expert in coaching. This is something that is important for all of us to be mindful of. Even if you have years of experience in any particular job, in any particular title, any particular profession, it does not necessarily mean that you are an experienced coach. In order for you to be a coach, you need specific skills. You need a specific skill set for you to be able to support your clients. And that's what coaching training brings to you. And that's what credentialing is all about. The International Coaching Federation is the largest body of coaches around the world. It's the largest global organization dedicated to advancing the coaching practice and the coaching profession around the world. I have the numbers here. We are now almost 40,000 members of the ICF, and we have representatives in more than about 146 countries around the world. Out of these almost 40,000 members, almost 37,000 of them are credentialed coaches. So this is a huge, I say these numbers because for you to notice that this is a huge community of coaches that come together, and we together establish, as the ICF, we establish the standards and the ethical standards for this profession. And this is huge for the marketplace. The ICF has done a tremendous job, especially in the past 10 years or so, in building the reputation of the coaching profession around the world, and not just reputation, empty reputation, like the work that has been done to raise the standards for ethics and the professional standards as well, how a coach behaves and acts as a coach with their clients. It's huge. And this is such an important factor for us to be mindful of. When you see someone who is a certified coach by the International Coaching Federation, you know that that person has done the work. That person has gone through coaching training, gotten mentor coaching, and gone through the whole process of certification with the ICF. That the process of certification in itself is an educational process. So why hold a credential to the ICF is a matter of integrity to me. Can you have a practice without credentials? Yes, you can have a practice, and perhaps you can even be successful in that practice. However, what are the standards that you abide by? What are the best practices? The ICF has specific core competencies that every credentialed coach is supposed to be skillful in. This is the value of coaching. The value of coaching is my opportunity and my ability to really bring this this skill set that creates the environment for the client to explore and examine their particular situation. So all of these standards that the ICF has raised and the ICF has built, this means that a person who is a credentialed coach knows these standards and abide by these standards. So you're bringing a reputation to the marketplace, and you're telling the marketplace, hey, I've done my work. I am able to support you, and I have done all of the work to be a credentialed coach and to be able to support you well. So that is primarily the reasons why you need to be mindful of when you're establishing a business, a coaching business, the standards that you are bringing to the table, and how important it is for you to get educated and understand the distinction between being a coach, being a consultant, being a coach, being a therapist, being a coach, being a mentor, and really operate in the role of a coach and be an expert in that particular role. And a credential will support you in being able to get to that level of standards that the ICF has identified based on, it's an evidence-based process, based on all of the research that the ICF has done globally with coaches all around the world to create these standards. In the next slide, we are going to see another thing for you to be mindful of, what clients want. So Emily, if we could go to the next one, clients usually what they want is they want results. And this is another point to be mindful of, what I was talking before. In order to get results is your ability, in our ability, in the moment that we are working with the client, to really bring the client to these results that they are expecting. So you can have the best marketing, you can have years of experience in a different profession, you can have a lot of knowledge, and you can have all of the programs and all of the marketing material. If at the time that you are sitting with your client and you're working with your client, you are not able to do a good job and bring the client to results, it's going to be for naught, because clients come for those results. So for us to have a successful coaching practice, is imperative that we become the best coaches that we can be. It's imperative that we stay committed to perfecting our craft. So yes, we want to get to one level of certification, and the ICF has different levels of certification. You can be an ACC coach, an PCC coach, or an MCC coach. It is imperative that we as coaches, that we are committed to this ongoing journey of growth and development. Certification is not just a question of a stamp that we get. Okay, I got my ACC and then I'm done. There is no such a thing as I'm done in coaching. We are constantly growing and developing, and we are constantly growing and developing because of that, because we want to offer our clients the best possible service. And that, out of anything that we can say, that I can say to you here, that is the most important point and the most valuable point that you are going to have, the most valuable point in your marketing strategy for you to have a successful practice, is the question that you are giving your clients a very good experience in bringing them to the results that they are expecting. That speaks louder than anything else that you can do. And therefore, it's so crucial that we invest in coaching education, and that we invest in becoming certified, and to continue in the ongoing development of our skill set. Another thing that the clients are looking for in a coach is background. It's your background. Not only your background in your, what I like to call previous life, what you have done before professionally. Most people that come to coaching nowadays, they come as a second or third profession. So your background, your story will count. People look at that as well as your experience in coaching, your coaching education, as it's written over there, as I have said before. Your coaching experience is so important as well. Your background in coaching will also support you in building your coaching practice. And the more experience you have, the more confident you feel, the more, the reputation, people get to know you even more. All of this, based on your background that you're building, will support you in building a coaching practice. Referrals, it goes back to the results, right? If you do a good job, if you're really coaching people and supporting them well, they are going to refer you. It goes a long way. People are going to refer you, and you're going to be able to, there is word of mouth, right? You're going to be able to create that coaching practice that you are looking for. And clients, we like to say in coaching that clients come from the what and they stay for the who. This is a little bit of coaching training here. This whole aspect of client come for a specific thing that they want to focus on, and all of a sudden they get because of the coaching, they get so much energy, and they get so many insights and transformations about who they are and how they are relating to their situation, that energy and that excitement that the insights, the awareness, the aha moments that they get in coaching really mobilize them into taking action and getting the results that they are looking for. So clients come for that as well. I would like to say that one of the things that makes us successful in coaching is also the way we attract clients. So energy for me here is the energy that you put in the room is very important as well. How you are showing up, who you are as a person, and how you come with the whole of you, not only a skill or not only this particular degree or this particular title that you had or this particular experience that you have, but the wholeness of you. Clients want that. Clients want to see who you are, and they are going to hire you because they want to spend more time with you and they feel comfortable with who you are. So really be mindful of this, that when people are searching for clients, they are looking to see who you are, and they are really they are curious about you as a person, and the energy, as I said, the energy that you bring to the room. And depending on that, they are going to identify with it or not. And then therefore they want to spend more time with you, and they will connect with you even further. So what about strategies? If we move to the next slide there, Emily, I appreciate. What about strategies? What are strategies that we can think here as we build a coaching practice? So one of the things that I really like to talk about when we are building a coaching practice, when I'm working with my mentees and some students as well, I like to change the perspective between the M word and the V word. So the M word is this word that usually most coaches don't like to talk about whatsoever. And that M word is marketing. Oh, I don't like to market. I don't like to sell myself. Oh, I want to coach, and why do I have to market? Why do I have to, now I have to sell, and I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't like to sell myself. I don't like to, cold calls, and I'm gonna have this conversation. I don't like marketing. So I really like to bring that attention or change the perspective or the mindset to my mentees of like, let's see if we can switch the mindset from the M word, marketing, to the V word. And the V word is visibility. The strategy for me that is most effective for all of us is not that strategy that I have to sell, that I have to push, that I have to create these things so that people are going to buy my coaching practice, but really focus on the idea that I'm just going to show up. I don't want to be a secret. There is that line over there on the slide. Don't be a secret. That is foundational for a successful coach. This idea that it's not a question of I need to create these very sparkly things that people have to come and entice them into coming and hiring me as a coach. That's not the idea. The idea here is I have really be confident that we have something to offer. And there are people around the world that would highly benefit from it. We started the presentation here today talking about those 67% of people in the workplace that are in burnout, right? So those are people that need support, and the support that I can offer. So if we are confident about that idea that what I can offer is really valuable to people, it's just a question of positioning ourselves in front of them. It's not a question, I don't have to sell, I don't have to push, but it's a question of really identifying who my ideal client is, and that's question number 2 there in that slide. Who would be my ideal client? Who are the people that would really benefit from the work that I do? And really finding ways, where are these people? Where do these people hang out? What are the organizations? What are the places that these people go? What are the groups? What are the social groups, the professional groups that these people are? How can I position myself there? How can I just join them and join them in a conversation? Join them in just relating to them. It's not a question that, oh, I have a program, hire me as a coach. Nothing like this. It's just a question of having a conversation with people, engaging, building relationships with people, true, authentic relationships with people. And the more we build these relationships, people are going to get to know who we are. They are going to get to know what we do. They are going to get to know what we can offer. And if they really need that, they are going to say, yes, I want to work with Carrie. I want to work with Katie. I want to work with Laura. And I'm just using a few names that I saw here in the attendees. So really, I strongly suggest for all of you, when you think of building a coaching practice, to really have a clear conversation with yourself about this point. How can I shift my mindset from pushing, selling, getting people to buy my products into how can I find the right place for me to be visible, and so that people are aware of what I can offer. So these are specific points for you to be mindful of. What are organizations that you know, that you are aware of? So here comes, knowing your background will be very effective here. What are people, individuals, connectors, people that know someone else that you can have a conversation, that you can build relationships with them, and they are going to be able to bring you referrals, individuals and organizations that can be connectors. These are great points for you to build relationship, and as you're building relationship, people are going to start coming and inviting you to, or asking you to be their coach. So let's look more in depth in each one of these, some of these strategies here. If we can go to the next slide there, Emily. A couple of strategies as you are building your coaching practice. I talked a lot about, I talked briefly before on the idea of identify who your client is. So we talk a lot about niche in coaching. And what is your niche? What is your client base? I think it's important for us to be mindful of identifying that client. However, oftentimes I see new coaches thinking and spending time, a lot of time, sometimes months and years, trying to identify what is my niche. Oh, okay, I'm going to focus on that niche, and it's almost like it's a lifelong decision that I'm making. I suggest that you experiment and don't be so concerned about, oh, I need to find my niche. I need to find my niche. I feel more that the niche is going to find you instead of you finding the niche. And the niche is going to find you by experimenting. So experimenting with different kinds of clients. What are the possibilities that are available to me right now? Who can I coach? And really offer your services. And perhaps I don't necessarily suggest or advise you to go into a complete pro bono mode, because there are the value of coaching. There are so many implications when you offer your services for free that end up derailing the coaching process. But maybe you are not going to charge your full fee yet, but whatever it is, what can you do to expose yourself to a variety of clients so that you have the experience of coaching different people, and see what resonates with you, or see what kind of client is resonating with you. So for you to really find your groove there in the coaching profession, I think that there is a huge value in experimenting. Thomas Leonard, who is one of the the founders of coaching. We say that he was the father of the coaching profession. He used to say that you need, in order for you to find a niche, you need to coach 100 different people. This is not 100 hours of coaching. This is 100 different people. And then by then, you're going to be able to really find your niche. You're really going to be able to find your groove. So experimenting with coaching is crucial. And the process here is that the side effect here is not only that you're going to then be able to identify your niche, you're also going to be able to grow in your coaching skills, because each one of these clients, in each one of these different scenarios and contexts that these clients are coming from, they're going to challenge you in perfecting your coaching skills even more. So the end result is that you get a niche and you become even a better coach. So it's a win-win situation here in experimenting. Get a coach. That is a given, right? How in the world can we expect that people are going to hire us as coaches, right? Okay, you need a coach, right? Hire me. How can we expect that people are going to do this if we don't do that ourselves? So if you want people to hire a coach, we should be the first one to do this. This is a given. Every coach should have a coach on an ongoing basis. Do we truly believe in the value of coaching? So why is it that we are not benefiting from it? Why is it that we are not seeking to be coached? So if we truly believe in what we are trying to sell, quote unquote, to our clients, we need to be tasting of the same water, right? So we need to be utilizing that same concept. So it's not just a word, something that we're saying, something words out of our mouth, but it's something that we act upon. Getting a coach is crucial. And it's not just a question of integrity, as I was talking about, the benefit of having a coach. Our clients get benefits from having us, right? So we also benefit from it. I remember going back to my 17 years of being a professional coach, the moments that I did not have a coach were the moments that I was most stagnant in my coaching practice. So it's the correlation of having a coach on an ongoing basis, investing in a coach, and building a coaching practice is crucial. And it's something for us, and something that I see that some coaches miss on that. And I totally understand, because it's an investment, right? We are already investing in coaching training, and now I have to invest in getting a coach, and I need to make money. I totally understand that. However, that old adage, like you in order to make money, you need to spend money. So really invest in yourself. Look at this as an investment in yourself, an investment in your progress, in the progress of your coaching practice. The next slide is about top secret, and it's what I was talking about before. Do not be a secret. It's the question of visibility. That is, to me, the most important aspect of building a coaching practice. It's really a question of finding places where you can become visible, that you can get involved. So here is the question is, how can you become visible, right? How can you not be a secret anymore? So my suggestion for you is really look at the people that you already know, the organizations that you already know. And it's not necessarily organizations that will hire you specifically, but perhaps there is a professional organization. Perhaps there is a place where a union, or say, I don't know, some sort of a Rotary. Here in the United States, we have Rotaries, or small business organizations, places where professionals gather. Look at these organizations, perhaps organizations that you are already involved, or maybe there is, I don't know, you are a yoga teacher, and there are yoga teachers organization, or perhaps you are an HR person and there are HR organizations involved. Perhaps you are an engineer and there are organizations for engineers. Whatever it is, the organization. Pay attention to these organizations and start getting involved. Volunteer. Perhaps offer to give a presentation, or perhaps not necessarily a presentation. You are there just to make connections and see what other people are doing. It's not a question of one event, right? It's not a question of just showing up for one event and making small talk with people, but it's really getting to know people. It's really getting to know the organization. It's really getting involved in the organization and becoming visible in the whole context of the organization. It takes time, but this is really making connections in an organic way so that people are going to see you, people are going to see who you are, and they are going to say, I want to work with Larissa. I want to work with Kelly. I want to work with this particular individual. Oh, I hear that Marian is a coach, and Marian is such a wonderful person. I want to spend more time. I want to hire Marian. So it's really creating an involvement within that organization that really brings them into getting to know you. That's the question of visibility. When you connect with organizations and when you connect with individuals specifically, it's not necessarily that that particular organization is going to give you business. It's not necessarily that that particular individual is going to hire you as a coach. That particular individual will not necessarily hire you, but that particular individual has a network of people. And that particular individual may connect you and refer you to other individuals. So what are the connectors, both individual and organizations? Build a relationship with them. Offer your services, volunteer services, connection services, create a presentation for them, support them in whatever projects they have, and build a long-term relationship with these organizations. Inevitably, people are going to get to know you, and people are going to be able to hire you as well. The idea here is be visible. Do not be a secret in your office. Social media is a black hole oftentimes because we are there thinking that we are doing work, and we're putting a lot of effort in there, and who are the people that are really seeing that. So be very strategic and mindful of that. Even in this day and age of Zoom and pandemic and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram or whatever, LinkedIn, the face-to-face, really connecting with people and building relationship is still the most effective way to build relationships and to get your coaching business growing. The next slide talks a little bit about your background, because this is a question of, I always say to my mentees, the most successful coaches are the ones who have been able to, at least in my experience, in my observation, are the ones who have been able to merge their past life to their present life. So what are your professional experiences that you have? Even the organizations that you have been involved in the past, right? But what is your professional experience and the network and the people that you know from your past life that you can now support and come together with your coaching and putting them together, and then being able to then create a coaching practice. A lot of times new students come to coaching because they are like, I don't want to have anything to do with my professional life, my past professional life. In fact, I'm coming to coaching because I want to quit my job and I don't want to have anything to do with that. I totally understand. And I totally support that. And I understand the burnout, because you may be one of the people that are one of the 67% employees that have been in burnout. However, you have built a lot of experience, and this is part of your life. This is part of who you are. This is so important to who you are and how you got here. You can't simply dismiss and erase it. perhaps there is a need to see through different lens and a different perspective. And I totally support that. Perhaps maybe there is a need for a sabbatical and forget a little bit about that. However, that is substantial experience, substantial professional experience that you have. Don't underestimate that. When you come together and you capitalize in the position that you have, and you come together and you bring this together with now a new set of skills that you have, the coaching skills that you have, when you put this together and really honor everything that you are and put together as a whole package, that is what I have seen in my own experience as well. That is the way that I see the coaches being really successful. So it's important for you to document everything that you do and be mindful of all of the process that you have. What are the resources and the documents that you have from your previous experience? How can that support you? The network, the individuals that you know, that can support you in building your coaching practice. Remember, clients are hiring you, right? You are the product. So you can't simply erase a part of your life. On the other hand, bring that as an asset for you to support your clients and for you to build that coaching practice even further, okay? Next slide talks about a part that is not so easy. Give yourself time and patience and give yourself some grace, because it takes time. All of this that I'm talking about, it's not something that you build overnight. You will need to invest yourself in that. So, perhaps if you have your full-time job there and you're still starting your coaching practice, hang in there and build, one step at a time. Hire a coach to support you through this process and to keep your morale up. And there will be times that you're going to feel discouraged. And that's why I think it's so important for us. And that's another value of being an ICF credentialed coach, because you have, as I said, almost 40,000 other coaches there supporting you and helping you in that moment that you're faltering. You are not alone. You have a community. Join your ICF chapter. Be active in your ICF chapter so that you can get energy from them, because the whole process takes time. You're building a business, and this business doesn't happen overnight. Be supportive of yourself. Be kind with yourself. Be mindful of the time that it's going to take for you to go through training, to get certified, right? At the first level of certification with the ICF, the ACC, you need at least 60 hours of coaching training. You need 125 hours, if I'm not mistaken, for the PCC level, and you need 200 hours of coaching training for an MCC level. That takes time, and this is just coaching training, not talking about the hours that you need of client experience, because that is required as well, and the hours that you need to invest working with your coach. So it takes time. Building relationships, it's not something that happens overnight, but be mindful and give yourself some grace. Get support, both from a coach, from the community, and keep moving forward. And one more thing that I want to mention here is the question of practice. So that's the next slide. You need to practice. That goes back to what I said before. You can have the best marketing strategy. You can have the best business setup. You can have all of the accounts and the marketing materials and websites and social media and everything. You can have even wonderful network. But if at the moment that you're coaching, if you're not able to deliver and be the best coach that you can be, regardless of the level of certification you have, certification is not going to support you there. What is going to support you is to be the best coach that you can be. So apply in your coaching skills, apply in coaching training, not only to give you the first level of certification, continue to apply in growing your coaching skills and perfecting, and practice, 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 and practice. Practice makes progress. So always continue to practice and dedicate yourself. Really have a conversation with yourself, like, I want to be the best coach that I can be, and that will transcribe in a good coaching practice. I'm pretty sure about that. Have a very the last thing that I want to say to you before we open for questions here is have a good conversation with yourself. Is coaching a hobby or is coaching a business? That to me was a transformative question that one of my mentor coaches asked me. And it's something for you to be mindful of. If it is a business, we need to really identify the strengths of that business and really act and start approaching this as a business, right? So if we have a 9-to-5 job, Monday through Friday, we work 8 hours at least, eight hours a day, and we are really focused on getting a business, right? So in applying to that particular job. So the same thing happens to coaching. So if this is really a business, you have to invest as much time as you can. There is a period of transition, perhaps, if you have a full-time job. And the idea is identify what are your strengths, identify the strong points here that you have, and start applying and creating a very clear strategy for you to move forward into what you want to create for your business, okay? So that's a few words that I want to say. It's just the beginning of big points for you to be mindful of as you start creating your coaching practice. And I'm going to pass back to Emily. I don't know if we have any questions or anything that we can support you with here.
Yes, we do have a couple questions. First, I wanted to just ask Andrea, you had your hand up. Do you have a question? If so, oh, there goes the hand, never mind. So there was earlier a question from Alan about lead generation strategies. We did touch on that a little bit. Alan, did you have any specific questions about that? I'll let Alan write any follow-up to that in the chat. And in the meantime, Sean is asking, earlier in the presentation, you had a slide about investing in education. Do you have any recommended programs or education you think is valuable for coaches, particularly as they are starting out with their own business?
Of course, here you are, coaching out of the box. That is my my first recommendation to you. You came to the right place. One thing for you to be very mindful of as you are looking for a coaching training program is to make sure that whatever coaching training program that you go to is an accredited program with the International Coaching Federation. This is crucial. Just like certification will tell the marketplace that you have gone through the process of training and becoming a certified coach, that you abide by professional and ethical standards. An accredited program also tells you that this program has been vetted by the International Coaching Federation, and this program abides by the standards that the ICF brings. And the standards that the ICF has is pretty good, pretty high there, and they are really constantly tweaking and trying to making sure that the programs are substantial programs. And Coaching Out of the Box, of course, is an accredited program with the International Coaching Federation. So you know that you're getting good value out of the program based on their standards.
Wonderful. And then Marion asked, just business plan question mark. I don't know if they would like to expand on that question.
Awesome. I love that. I saw that myself here, the business plan. Yes, I feel that when we talk about business plan, and I think that I touched a little bit throughout the whole process here, is really identifying what do you want? And we covered this in a business program here. I think that Emily and or Stephanie are going to talk about this before. This idea of, I think it's important for us to really have a clear conversation with ourselves. What is it that we are trying to build? Because oftentimes new coaches go and say, okay, I need clients. I need a coaching practice, a full coach. What does that mean? Does a full coaching practice mean that you're going to coach 40 people, that you're going to coach 5 people? Could be. Is it going to be part-time, full-time? Is it going to be virtual? Is it going to be in person? Is it going to be, how much money do you need to make? Do you need to have, is this just an added income for you or additional income for you? Or is this going to be, covering income that needs to cover for all of your expenses? What is that you want to create? Very important. Is this going to be only one-on-one coaching? Are you going to be able to do team coaching? Are you going to merge this with other skill set that you have? Are you going to write a book? Are you going to have be a public speaker? There are so many aspects here to identify that that is your ideal coaching practice. And that is what I talk about business plan. Out of that ideal coaching practice, then you need to talk about, what is the revenue, what are the expenses, and all of those natural points that you ask, that you create when you're creating a business plan. But the bottom line, every time I think about business plan, is what is the business that you want to create for yourself? Your coaching practice is not going to be similar to any other coaching practice. My coaching practice is just my coaching practice. And each coach creates their own unique practice. And it's important, as you're building a plan, to be very clear about those questions.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. There was a follow-up question from Sean as well, but I think that we might touch a little bit on it afterwards about additional training for coaches once you are accredited by the ICF.
Yes.
And as Elias mentioned, that there is a self-paced program that counts towards additional training credits with the ICF that we'll talk a little bit more about. Elias, did you have anything that you wanted to end on or finish with?
Absolutely. The first thing that comes to mind is connect with a ICF chapter. It can be your local chapter, or it can be another chapter. They are always offering new training and additional training that you can take. Usually it's pretty cheap because all of these chapters are there for the members specifically. And so this is one thing that I can think of. But also connect with your mentor coach, because your mentor coach will be able to support you in additional training and getting more hours for certification, hours even beyond your ACC certification.
Yes, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us all today. And thank you so much, Elias, for your wisdom and your knowledge and sharing about the business of coaching. You can reach out to myself and I can connect you with Elias with any questions, or you need support on your coach training and business journey. For everyone who stayed on the webinar today for the full hour, you'll be receiving a discount code for the 6-week self-paced Building a Successful Coaching Practice course, which is also facilitated by Elias. And the discount code for that will come with the CC certificate after the webinar. Just to go back to what we were discussing earlier about the training, regardless of where you are in your coaching journey, we have solutions for you, and I'm happy to discuss anytime. A little bit about what's coming up here, some of the program offerings at Coaching Out of the Box. Again, we're happy to speak with you at any time about our offerings or just coaching in general. Please feel free to reach out to us. And finally, as we wrap up today, love to hear in the chat what you're taking away, what you're walking away with from today's conversation. And closing off, again, a big thank you to all of you for joining us and Elias for facilitating the conversation. And I'd also like to give a big thank you to Stephanie for her never-ending support, both technically and emotionally. We'll see you in the next one.
Excellent. And anybody, if you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me, at the Coaching Out of the Box website, or you can just Google me and you'll find me somehow. Please feel free to reach out. It's a pleasure to connect with you.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.